Hello, it's Kerri-Ann here, and welcome to Module 6, which is about trusting yourself. Now that you've done all this work and getting to know yourself on a deeper level, it's time to really trust this knowing as you begin to integrate it into your life. Now, this is not an easy process because for the majority of your life, you looked outside of yourself for answers on how to survive this crazy world, and you were told who to be. Let me give you an example of this. Recently, I was working with my 2.5-year-old client, and when I arrived for his session, he had the saddest face. Like, he was literally like sad and pouty face, right? It was so cute. Anyways, he was really feeling sad for some reason. And I didn't need to know the reason, but I wanted to give him permission to feel sad. His nanny was telling him that he had an ugly face and was mimicking his sad face back to him. And this was really upsetting him because it was not honoring what he was experiencing, which was sadness. Now, I'm not blaming the nanny here in this situation. I just want to give you an example of when you were a child, how often we are basically told how to think or feel or act, right? And again, the nanny was acting out of her own conditioning. She was just acting out of her own conditioning. So now it's coming back to the truth of really who you are. So now you see that, like, from our past, we became this version of ourselves that we've been living for how many ever years that you've been living this one identity. And now over the last 6 weeks, or at least 5 weeks, you have been unpacking who you are to come back to the core of you. And now it's about trusting it and integrating it into your life. So this is going to be a 5-part process, with this being part 1. And I broke these up into individual videos. And the reason why is I want to recommend that you do one a day. So even if you're not participating or going to engage in this until like 3 days into the week, that's okay. Just do one a day to really get the fullness of the experience and to give yourself time to do every single exercise, or I call them experiences, in it. Part of it in this module, we are flexing. See that flexing? Flexing the trust muscle more and more, and learning how to listen to your intuition and really trust it. So there's 5 parts to this process. So let's jump into the first part. I want to first break down trusting yourself and what intuition is. So what is trusting yourself? What is intuition? So trusting yourself is about loving and accepting yourself fully, even when things are messy. When you make a mistake or you do something accidentally, in those moments, it's key to come back to loving and accepting yourself and realizing that everything that's happening and unpacking for you, or the mistakes you make, or when things are just messy, it's just part of the process. It's part of the journey. You sometimes go, for example, I was on a trip this last weekend, and I stepped in cow poop. Like, it's messy. It's just part of the process, okay, of learning and growing and expanding. So it's about being okay with being you, and know that no matter what, you are loved and accepted for being you. Because again, as children, that's all we wanted. And like this little client of mine, that's all he wanted, was just to be loved and accepted. He just, like, give him the 90 seconds to cry because he was upset about something. Our intuition is the ability to understand something immediately without the need for a conscious reasoning, right? Oh, that reasoning mind can get in the way, and we can consciously think. We can use all of the knowledge we have from our life and, like, reason our way out of something. But intuition is just kind of, it's something, you just understand something immediately. You just know something without any need for reasoning. When you trust yourself, you can hear your intuition more profoundly. And when you hear your intuition, you have to trust it. So the two go hand in hand. So intuition is receiving from the divine within you, within you. It's allowing our feminine energy to be tapped into. Every single one of us have masculine and feminine energy, no matter what, if you're male or female. You have both, and both need to be living in harmony. So often when you're not listening to your intuition, you're not in harmony energetically between your masculine and feminine energy. So it's kind of bringing them back into alignment and being more in balance with yourself, more in harmony, more in tune. Our world, especially the Western world, focuses a lot on the masculine energy, the drive, the determination, that go, 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 go type energy, which is great. It's needed. That's part of half the harmony. But the other half is the free-flowing surrender, intuition, creative beings that we are. It's coming into harmony between the two. So we want to receive from the feminine. It is our receiving side. So we all have this inner wisdom that really loves us and wants to guide us, but we have been taught to not listen to it. As I said earlier, when we arrived here on this planet as little beings, we needed to figure out how the world worked, how this thing called life worked. And so we looked outside of ourselves for answers. And this began the process of always looking outside of ourselves because we wanted to stay safe, we wanted to be loved, and we wanted to be accepted. Right? We wanted to feel like we have a sense of belonging. But over the years, you've all felt something calling. That you get a little like itch or that little inner wisdom, a little voice, and you're like, whoa, what's that? So we're going to be practicing that over this module. That's our intuition that's really calling us forward. So again, over the week, we're going to have a deeper dive into quieting that rational side of us, that kind of monkey mind, and learning to hear what our inner wisdom is saying, learning what it sounds like, what it feels like in the body. It has always been there. But again, our monkey mind, that rational part of our mind, has been louder for some of us, for a lot of us actually. So for part one, experience one is going to let's begin identifying the one thing you are currently questioning in your life, okay? So think about one thing that you are questioning in your life. It could be you want to leave a job, trying to eliminate meat from your life, maybe to stay on medication, to buy a dress, to eating more protein, to taking a trip, to starting a business, to buying a piece of property, etc. So just one thing. And again, there's no right or wrong here. Just one decision that you're like, I don't know if that's the right decision, what I should do. So I want you to first kind of just identify one thing. And the reason why is we're going to practice with this one thing throughout the week on flexing that intuition muscle and really listening to ourselves. So just the goal is for one thing. And when you decide on one thing, I want you to go to the Facebook group for the core review and post what that one thing is so we can see it. Experience two is to ignite your creative energy. So I talked about the feminine energy is the more creative side of ourselves. And we need to open that energy stream up. So I want you to be in that creative flow because it's powerful. So allow yourself to play for even 30 minutes, okay, for this part, 30 minutes. So you can color, you can sing, you can learn something new, you could try a recipe. I'm actually thinking about whipping out the guitar, finding a 30-minute tutorial online and starting to learn how to play my guitar. You could dance, you could do something with your hands. Just get into that creative flow, play. Even get Play-Doh out and play with it. Go to a park and get on the swings and just see how it feels. Climb a tree. I almost climbed a tree a couple weeks ago. And I didn't, but I wanted to. Just get into that sense of play. So we're all learning and practicing together in this experience. So I really encourage you to share, again, in the Core of You Facebook group. This is a safe space just for you. So tell us the one thing that you're currently questioning and what playful activity did you decide to do and how did it feel? And recognize how it feels in the body. What thoughts and feelings do you have when you go and play? And just kind of observe yourself. Again, there's no right or wrong here. So whatever you decide to do, however it feels, is your journey, and so honor it. There's no comparing. I'm really, really, really looking forward to seeing what you decide to choose to work on this week in terms of what you're questioning and how you play in part one. I look forward to seeing you in part two. Ciao, ciao. Beijos.